Thank you all for coming to my presentation. I'm Gregory Hollingshead. We will be talking about communication at the workplace. My general purpose is to inform you about communicating at work. My specific purpose is to inform you about communicating effectively and ineffectively at work. Communication has been around since the beginning of living creatures. There are wild African dogs in Africa, obviously, that communicate through sneezing. That's how they vote to go hunt. Ants communicate through chemicals, and we communicate through various channels. We will be talking about communicating at work. Your reason to listen is so that you will remember how to handle certain situations and how to communicate with your coworkers, whether you are in a part-time employment position or a manager employment position or even higher than that. My credentials are that I have been in management of several different companies for 10 years, give or take, and I have really tried hard to figure out what it takes to effectively communicate with people from a manager standpoint and from a coworker standpoint. The 3 W's. What is communication? What is work? And what is communicating effectively and ineffectively at work? Let's start with what is communication. The definition of communication is the means of sending or encoding and receiving or decoding messages. Mostly, as humans, we communicate face to face, especially at work. I hope for the majority of work it is face to face. But there are other ways that we communicate as humans. Look at all these chicken. Or look at all these ways that we can communicate. We have text, we have email, we have Zoom, we have Google Duo, which I think is now Google Meetings. Anyways, there's several different ways to communicate electronically mostly, but you also have writing a letter, a note, sending it through the mail that we communicate, and that's less immediate, but it's still communication. What is work? Work is described as an activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. Work is also a place of employment. And now, what is communicating effectively and ineffectively at work? Communicating effectively starts with knowing who you're communicating to or with. You will change the way you communicate depending on if you are communicating with your boss or coworkers. Effective communication is mostly listening, especially when you're in management. Coworkers come to me with issues they have with other coworkers, and it's then my job to resolve the issue or just to listen, because sometimes that's all they need is just somebody to listen to or somebody to listen to them. Ineffective communication is mostly just talking. When you're listening to somebody just to respond, that's ineffective communication because you're listening to what they're saying and not really what they mean, if that makes sense. So you don't really know what their needs are or what their wants are. It's like playing tennis. You're just hitting the ball back to them instead of trying to resolve what their issue is. And how to avoid ineffective communication at work, you have to consider who the person is and what they really need or want. And to listen first. Also, don't waste time. A lot of people waste time with communication, and we're when communicating, and it wastes time. You don't get that time back. So get to the point. Remember, to listen first and then talk and ask questions. Time is money unless somebody needs help. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.